This is an urgent appeal from the Disasters Emergency Committee. Hundreds of thousands of people have fled their homes to escape conflict in Ukraine, leaving jobs, belongings and loved ones behind. They need shelter, food and water. You can help. To donate online, search DEC or text radio to 70150 to give £10. Thank you.
Streaming 24/7, this is Brum Radio.
Thank you for downloading this Brum Radio podcast. For more podcasts, visit brumradio.com.
I'm Dave Massey. I'm joined on the telephone by Christopher Hayden, who is directing To the Streets, which is coming to Birmingham from the 19th to the 28th of August. I say Birmingham because it's also going to Handsworth Park, and then it's going over to Warwick Arts Centre and to Wolverhampton as well. Good afternoon, Christopher. How are you doing?
I'm good, Dave. It's lovely to speak to you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. This production is presented as part of Birmingham 2022 Festival with China Play and Birmingham Hippodrome. How does it feel to have so many different people involved in the creation of this project?
Well, it's actually quite a sort of... It doesn't feel like there's a huge number of people. You know, a project of this scale requires, a number of different partners because, there's just so much to do in terms of raising the money for it and all the logistics and stuff. And, it's a really, really exciting group of partners. China Play are a company I've worked with a lot. They have an amazing ambition and vision. The Hippodrome have enabled us to imagine this show on a much bigger scale than we might initially have thought. Mm-hmm. And B22 are enabling us to reach a really, really exciting audience and to give the music of this production its first outing, because obviously at this stage, it's just a concert performance that we're doing. It's not the full show, but it gives us the opportunity to share that music with the wider public.
Can you tell us a little bit about what being a concert performance means the audience will see?
Yeah, so this is a new musical that we're developing. We're in the middle of kind of writing it and creating it now. And if you were to go to the Hippodrome, see, Les Mis, which is on at the moment, you would see a fully staged show with a complete beginning, middle and end, and everything would come together. Because this show is not due to be fully produced until probably around 2024, at this stage, we are just focusing on the music. So what the audience will see when they come is a really, really joyful, thrilling 75 minutes where we crack through all 18 songs. They'll be fully choreographed. There will be a narration that will give the audience an understanding of what the story of the whole show is and what the history of the bus boycott itself is. Mm-hmm. But the focus will absolutely be on the music. And, we're doing it in this outdoor venue, so it will feel like being at a concert or a gig. It's going to be really thrilling, I think.
Birmingham itself has a huge Jamaican population, and I know from growing up here in Birmingham as a kid that I didn't know that the Caribbean or the rest of the world had many other areas apart from Jamaica. Do you think that introducing this story to Birmingham in this way will help younger people and the people coming to see this have a bit of more understanding of the cultural relevance of this story?
Well, I think what the show is doing is giving a contemporary audience access to a really important bit of British history that often gets overlooked. The Bristol bus boycott in 1963 happened because the Bristol Omnibus Company was refusing to employ black and Asian people as drivers and conductors. Mm-hmm. So Paul Stevenson and Roy Hackett and the other protesters, boycotters, decided to band together and lead an event that would encourage people across the city to boycott the bus company until it changed its mind. They were successful, and that event led to Harold Wilson, when he became Prime Minister, introducing racial equality legislation in Parliament for the first time. So the story itself is a really inspiring story of the struggle for equality, and the event had a huge impact on the society we now live in. But the story has been forgotten, and many, many people don't know about it. Most of our understanding of civil rights movement comes from America and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and so on. We don't know who our own civil rights heroes are. So I think the show will give a contemporary audience a really direct access to that vital part of our history.
Have you used the Birmingham Hippodrome space on the campus there before? And how does it feel to be on that site at the moment?
Well, it's the Hippodrome is an amazing venue, and we've got, we're really well supported in terms of rehearsal rooms and all the technical support and the people around us. And the show will eventually happen on the main stage of the Hippodrome, but obviously that's not for another couple of years. But it's really exciting just to be, able to work in a context where we can make such a large show. This production has 9 professional performers. It has a community ensemble of 18 or 19. It has a band of 6. So we're going to have well over 30 people on that stage. It's a massive undertaking, and that makes it really thrilling, I think.
I was really lucky to see a very, very small snippet of this for just one song at the launch of Birmingham 2022 Festival, and it was a real blast of energy into Symphony Hall. Do you think that bringing this to the outside, an outside venue, is going to give the production a different personality?
Yeah, I think it's going to have a real sense of joy and celebration about it, and the show itself. If you buy your ticket for the show, you'll come to the outdoor venue that we're creating in Handsworth Park and
Yes.
other parks. And before the show, there are going to be a series of other performances on stage from community groups and so on. So the whole thing will have the feel of a sort of festival or an event that's much bigger than just the production that we're making.
And it's the actual site opens about 90 minutes before each production.
Yeah.
Will that really add to that vibe?
Yeah, I think so. It'll feel like a festival, there'll be food and drink available, and yeah, it should be a really fun day out.
Have you had chance to go to any of those sites yourself? I know because there's more than one site, and they're quite a distance. From a Birmingham point of view, they're a distance from each other. They must feel pretty close to you if you're coming up here from different areas of the country.
Well, the aim is to create something that has a reach across the whole of the Midlands. Birmingham is the kind of epicenter, but we want to take it as far and wide. And the aim is to take the show to an audience who might not ever think to come and see a show at a Hippodrome. This is a story about a community standing up for itself. So it's really essential that we're able to take that story to the community and deliver it to them on their terms and on their patch, as it were.
I think Handsworth is that's the location that I know the best out of the 3 locations. I always think of there being a party vibe in Handsworth when I've been to it in the past, and they've had big festivals go there before. What do you think they might take away from this production of To the Streets when they've seen it?
I think various things. I think it's joyful and exciting, so I hope people will take away, I hope people will leave the show humming the tunes. The tunes are incredibly catchy and enormous fun and incredibly moving at times. So I hope they'll take that away from it, and I also hope they'll take away a deeper understanding of a really important element of our history as a country. Often when we think about British history or English history, we think about kings and queens and Winston Churchill, but there's actually a whole other side to our history, a kind of sort of political radicalism, of progressivism, of people fighting for equality and fighting for their rights, and we forget that, and that doesn't always get taught in school. So it's really important, I think, that people know that, and I think this show will help spread that understanding.
How wonderful. I think it sounds like a really exciting project, and to see so many people from Hippodrome be excited and passionate about it as well is absolutely wonderful. I know that they're very keen to get more community involvement in projects like this, and particularly the citizens of Birmingham to come and see these sorts of projects as well. So I can't wait for this to come to Birmingham as well. Can I get you to come back in the future when you're bringing this to the Hippodrome stage itself?
Yeah, of course.
That would be wonderful. You can find out more about To the Streets from Birmingham Hippodrome's website, birminghamhippodrome.com. They're also at chinaplatetheatre.com as well. You can look for tickets for the events on both of those websites. The dates for you again, 19th, 20th of August at Handsworth Park, and then 24th and 25th of August at Windmill Hill at Warwick Arts Centre, and then 28th of August, West Park at Wolverhampton. Christopher, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today about this.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this Brum Radio podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on your podcast app.